Why is it important to follow safety instructions?
One of the challenges to following safety instructions is that they can be so step and process intensive that they may never be followed, actually. It's important to make sure that when you develop safety processes is that they're simple to understand and that they're hard to bypass. Generally, we're only as safe as what we do when no one's looking. So if a job takes an hour to do it safely and 30 minutes to do it unsafe, human nature is that we're going to do it in 30 minutes, so I have another 30 minutes just to relax. But what is important when you're developing a safety program is how can I make it safe in 30 minutes instead of an hour? How do you make it so that there is no reason to try to cut corners? You got to design the process, design the steps so that it can be livable for your workforce, and then employees will comply.
What's an SOP and why is it important?
A standard operating procedure is an SOP. It gives exact instructions for step-by-step of how a job will be done. And that includes the steps as well as safety, the personal protective equipment you may need for those steps. But developing those SOPs the burden should be on the developer to work closely with the employees that are actually doing the job, to make sure that they work in harmony so that you don't overburden the process, but also that employee has buy-in with it and they understand it easier. Developing a dynamic safety culture can be a challenge, but the key to it is people in your organization at all levels involved in the process. You get buy-in once you have management, employees, supervisors, all part of the safety program. You hear at a lot of companies, and I visit a lot of companies, and they say safety is the number one most important thing. Or they say that safety is everyone's responsibility. And I ask them, does your supervisor know exactly what they need to do to make sure their employees are following safe work practices? You as a manager to the supervisor, do you know what your role in safety? Until you really define each role and their interdependencies between them, your culture will always be disjointed.
How can you develop coaching and training programs?
Developing coaching and training programs, you need to consider every level of the organization. Where a lot of coaching and training programs fall short is they're focused on the worker and they're not focused on the supervisor, or they're focused on management and one or the other. But the problem with this is you got to develop a program that explains the interdependencies between all levels, and that will help you with your overall coaching program. We tend to skip when it comes to safety. We think it's training just the workers, but training supervisors and the executive or management team need just as much training and coaching to know their roles as well.
What's OSHA and what roles do they play?
OSHA is the Occupational Health and Safety Administration. They're part of the Department of Labor. They set the standards for workplace safety. They also do inspections and enforcement. They can give you a violation if you're not following those rules. They have many rules to follow, And sometimes for companies it can be hard to disseminate and fill out and understand exactly what those rules mean to them. That's why it's good to hire a professional to help disseminate the differences.
I want to learn more about safety and I want to be able to protect my employees. What's the best way to reach you?
The best way is to send an email to info@getavieras.com.